Hello everyone, welcome to my Happy Day series. Now today for my Happy Day series, in case you're new, I use items that I have in my stash. And so today I'm going to use this die. It's called the Garden Blooms die from Paper Smooches. Love this, love the itty bitty flowers and that come out of that die. And so we're going to jump and get started. Now I'm going to be making 2 cards using the positive space and the negative space. I thought that would be fun to do and a nice alternative. Usually when I use this die, I throw out the negative space, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to attempt to make a card using it. So first off, I have a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock here, and I'm placing my die in the center of it. I'm going to secure it just with a piece of Post-it tape, run it through my die cut machine, and I left all of the insides of the die inside the paper. We want to keep it that way because it's going to be easier to color. And then I'm going to use some distress inks. I'm going to be using Seedless Preserves, Festive Berries, Twisted Citron, Squeezed Lemonade, and some Shabby Shatters. Starting off with the Festive Berries, I'm going to go over the flower area of one of the flowers, and I'm going to kind of travel that distress ink up, kind of giving it full coverage, and doing the same with the Squeezed Lemonade and the Seedless Preserves. Now I want to, when I do this, I'm making sure that I kind of overlap the colors just to give it a little bit of a variant on the colors, and I think it looks so gorgeous. And then for the leaves, I'm starting off using the Shabby Shatters, and then just to add a little bit more color, I'm going in with the Twisted Citron. And making sure that I kind of fill in that area there. I have a stitch rectangle die, and I'm going to cut that out. I'm just going to take that whole panel and put it through my Big Shot. And since the distress inks are kind of a little bit wet, it went through really well without anything being removed. I added a little bit of sparkle and shimmer using some shimmer spritz, and then I'm just going to heat set that because it this panel is actually pretty saturated. So once I got that done, I cut out a panel that's the same size as the one as the rectangle die that I used to cut my little flower panel out, and then I'm going to flip that one over, and then normally on the areas that you would pop out, like with your craft pick, I'm going to add glue to it. Now I want to use a pretty strong glue, so I'm using my multimedia mat, and I'm just going over all the areas that I would normally punch out. I'm taking that same size white background there and placing my color right on top, and I'm pressing it really good. I'm just going to put my acrylic block on there and set that aside just to make sure that it's glued down really good. Now we're going to work on our card base. We're going to do 2 at the same time. So I'm taking a piece of cardstock, just white. I actually cut out 2, and then I'm taking one of my embossing folders. This is a very old embossing folder. I think, well, let's see, it's called Lifestyle Crafts. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby, but it has these pretty little polka dots on it. So I cut out, or I embossed 2 panels with that. We're going to set those aside, and then we need some frames. This frame here is a scallop frame from Pretty Pink Posh. Love this scallop frame. I'm just going to run that through my Big Shot and cut that out. So that will be the frame for one of our cards. And then I'm just taking 2 stitch rectangle dies and creating another frame with those. Now the larger of the frame will fit perfectly on that panel that we had cut out with the flowers. We're just going to separate all these pieces here, and so now we have our 2 frames. Okay, we're going to just separate those a little bit. Now we need sentiments. So for one of the cards, I thought it'd be nice. I have this smile die. It's from C&CT, and I think it came in a set. I'm not sure. I'm just going to take a piece of black cardstock and run that through my Big Shot. So that will be one of our sentiments. And then for the next one, I have a piece of, this is a real pale gray, grayish tannish cardstock. I'm going to place that in my Mini Misty, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says thanks a bunch. And this is This, unfortunately, I couldn't tell you who made this one because I didn't keep track of it, and it is very old, but I still love it. Thanks a bunch goes great with flowers. I'm taking glacier white embossing powder, and I went ahead and melted that, and then trimmed it down and fishtailed the ends. So that will be our second sentiment. Okay, I think this is dried pretty good, so I'm going to take my craft pick and I'm going to lift out my die cut flowers here. I'm going to carefully. When you do this part, I would recommend that you be really careful with your glue, because you wouldn't want any of those pieces or this piece here sticking. It wouldn't work out too well. So I did one flower, and you can see that the negative space that we glued is stuck to that white panel in the back. And then I cut out, or I pulled out that middle flower and then the last flower. And so we're just going to set that on that another white panel that's the same size. I'm just going to take my multimedia mat and glue those little flowers to that white panel. And as I'm looking at this, I was thinking the negative space on the panel right next to it is so pretty. I mean, that could be, if you were to rearrange those a little bit, I think that'd be a really pretty card too. So I'm just going to glue all of those down. And I did notice, since this is distress ink, that if you get glue on your hands and you're pushing it down, the distress ink will smear on that white cardstock, so you want to be real careful with that. Okay, we're going to set that aside and then work on the negative space panel. I'm just adding some foam tape to the top part here, and I'm going to just place that back on that white panel there. So basically we have the little bouquet that we made without the die cut piece center, if I'm explaining that right. But you can see, I think it's very different but very neat, and I really like the way instead of the flowers popping out, they pop in. So I'm just adding one of the frames that we made. This is not the scallop frame, it's just the rectangle frame we made. And I placed that right on top. And then I'm just going to use my glue again and glue down my smile. And I think that looks so pretty. I'm using a standard A2 size card for this. And I'm just going to take my tape runner and glue down my polka dot embossed panel here. You know, I know embossing folders aren't popular anymore, but I love mine. So I love this series because I can use what I have. I'm going to flip over this panel and I'm just going to glue that directly on top of my card base here. And basically that's our negative card. Our pretty, lovely negative card. Okay, now we're going to work on the positive part. Okay, I think I love the colors in this little flower arrangement here, but I think just to make them pop a little bit more, I wanted to add something different. So from my stash, I have this is a stamp that has like illegible cursive writing on it, and so I'm going to go in with some is it VersaFine ink from Memento. And it's Versa Magic, I'm so sorry. And this is a wheat, which is a nice neutral color. And I'm going to stamp that illegible handwriting just kind of around the edges of the flowers. Just to take, the background is so white, I wanted a little bit of interest back there. And I think this is a great way to do that. And then once you get your frame on top of it, I think it just looks really nice. Nice little accent. Okay, I'm taking my scallop frame and I'm going to pop that up with some foam tape as well, remove the backing, and then place it in the center of that panel. Now you'll notice that this panel is a little bit larger than my frame, but that's okay, it was easy to just trim around it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that I did with the other card. I'm going to add my embossed panel to my white cardstock, my card base here. Place that in the center and then add my sentiment. And basically that's it, my two cards with the positive and the negative, and I think they just turned out so pretty. And this one here I thought would make a great note card set. You know, with the holidays coming around the corner, that would be a great gift to give. You could actually make two sets at the same time. But just for a little bit more, of course we need some bells and whistles. So for my stash I have, these are pretty pink Posh, they're droplets, and I love these droplets, and I have two different sizes. One I think is a 6mm, and then the other size is a 4mm. I'll leave links below to where you can find, if I can find these products. I'm sure I can, but I'll leave them in the description area below to where you can check them out. But I think just little details like this add a lot. And so I did run out of my 4mm ones, so I needed to grab another pack of them. I just take the little baggies and fill up my little containers. They're a lot more reachable, so I'm just going to add a few more here and there and glue them down with some multimedia matte since I had it on my desk. And that's it. Those are my positive and my negative card. I hope this inspires you. I think you'd be able to do this with sentiment dies or any other dies that are pretty thin. If you normally you would throw it away, but why throw it away when you can make a real pretty card from it? Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. If you like this tutorial, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new, hit that subscribe button. You'll get to see more. I wish you a lovely day, and I hope the rest of your week is fantastic, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.